Hey, do you like calm, relaxing, and easygoing games? Yeah? Well, too bad, because today we're talking about God Hand! Created for the PS2 back in 2006, God Hand is a hardcore gamer 3D over-the-shoulder beat-em-up. The game was developed by Clover Studios. Before God Hand, Clover gifted us with Beautiful Joe and Akami, but more importantly, the CEO Atsushi Inaba and the director of God Hand, Shinji Mikami, went on to create Platinum Games, aka one of the best character action game studio responsible for gems like Wonderful 101, Vanquish, and Bayonetta. God Hand was an early representation of their idea of stylish fighting mechanics, as the director Shinji Mikami previously worked on Resident Evil 4, stating, "Man, guns are lame, I just want to throw hands," and then pitched the idea for God Hand. The gameplay consists of classic beat-em-up style levels with your objective is to beat 'em up and get to the end of the level. In God Hand, you play as Gene. He's a real thirsty boy.
Water!
The way you control him is the most interesting part of this game. It's extremely reminiscent of RE4 as you control your character's movements and the camera all on the left stick, while the right stick though is entirely based on dodges. Flick left and right, you get a sidestep, flip back, and then you get a backflip, and my personal favourite, you flick up and then you do a head slip. Attacks are fairly simple. Square is your combination of punches that you all combine together to create one combo. Triangle and X are set for your specials, such as your kicks, your guard breaks, your sweeps, stuff like that. And the entire move list that you have is customizable. You can change every single one of your punches in the punch combo on the square button, you can change all your triangles, your X's, you can customize the way you want with your whole smorgasbord of move list that you got there. You also have a list of roulette moves, which are basically big super attacks all listed here. These are all customizable and some of them do some nuts things, like this. Oh yeah, and I forgot the most important part, the namesake of the game, the God Hand. After heroically losing his arm saving a woman, Olivia, then gives him the God Hand, and tags along in his journey. The God Hand is essentially a devil trigger mode. You pop it with R2, and then you become completely invincible, your attacks are super powered and super fast, just for a short amount of time until that bar runs out. I like to think of it as a quick get out of jail free card if you're thinking, I might actually die here. Now the enemies, they will throw many different types of moves at you, but each enemy type generally has a set amount of moves that they can use. Every move can be evaded, but it's up to you to figure that out. But in my opinion, when in doubt, just head slip. It's so good, it can dodge most things, even things that you couldn't think that you could head slip. When dodging and smacking falls around, you'll notice a skull meter built in the bottom left. This meter goes from 1, 2, 3, and die level. This increases the better you play in the game, so more dodges, the less you get hit, and the more damage you do. This meter essentially increases the difficulty level, making enemies a lot more stronger, they had access to more moves, and they're a lot more aggressive as well. Because yeah, I guess that they didn't think it was hard enough. Oh yeah, and did I forget to mention, this game is hard. Previously, I never actually beat this game until I needed to get footage for this video. The game is very punishing, not only because of its level design, but also because the camera is very much against you, and sometimes the minimap can be your savior, especially in big group fights. And it's your best defense against getting any sneaky surprises. In each level, there are boxes that you can break that drop items, such as giving you health, meter, roulette orbs, which give you another super move that you can use, and a kind of rage mode, which makes your moves just unblockable and makes it super damaging as well. All these items are random, but the worst part of the RNG comes with the demons. These bastards will spawn randomly from defeated enemies, and they are so tough to beat that it's usually best just to pop your God Hand and take care of them. But again, when in doubt, just head slip, and then they're easy. After each stage, you get a chance to come back to a hub area where you can buy more moves with the gold you earned and earn more gold in an arena, or better yet, hit the casino and earn some big bucks. Come on, come on, come on. Shit! Honey, I lost the car! The general story isn't actually too much to write home about. Essentially, it's a group of devils doing their evil stuff. They're taking over towns, torturing villagers, eating people, and teaching them how to dance. Diabolical, I know. Gene's job is to go and take him out with the God Hand, while Olivia waits in her hotel. The three big bads are Elvis, Shannon, and, to be honest, I kind of forgot this guy's name. Bells. Yep, should have guessed. But secretly, there's another guy in the shadows holding the power of the devil arm. Azael. Think of him essentially as like the Virgil of this game. He wears cool, edgy glasses and a white coat, because he's the opposite of that character. Ooh. In the beginning, Jean gets up to some wacky hijinks, fighting some dudes and then saving villagers from a poisoned chihuahua.
I'm cured. Thank you!
And some poorly aged stereotypes.
Sweetie, you're not going anywhere until you answer our quiz question. He's such a sexy man. Just my type.
I'm not that kind of guy.
Then I took out in style. While running through the whole place and beating up some more dudes, you eventually run into Elvis, who is such a weird type of character. He's a Buddhist Mexican demon who has Elvis noises riddled throughout his theme, as well as just the fact that he's just named Elvis as well. And honestly, I love him. He has some of the best boss fights in the game, and he is a great introduction to how all the bosses in this game work too.
That's rich! A la mierda.
What's the matter? You on a tight budget, big guy?
You know what? I'm getting a bit hungry. And a little huevon sounds like it would hit the spot.
Elvis's moves are fairly easy to dodge. You can head slip most of them, which is great, but his grab and jump move, and his long range headbutt and palm strike all need to be sidestepped. If you just do this and then just use your god hand, you should be able to beat him easily.
Get ready, cause I'm really gonna give it to you! Hey, you're the big nice hero, right? How about giving me a hand here?
Huh?
Come on, come on, come on!
Oh, I'll help you out all right.
A la mierda! He really gave it to me, all right.
See you around, fat boy.
Yeah, I still don't know what the hell happened in that scene. After beating Elvis, the Divas, as they like to call themselves, meet up to plot their next move. And meanwhile, Jean meets up with Olivia, who tells him about the people going missing in a certain town, and with Jean being a little regretful in helping her.
I should have never helped that psycho nutcase! Ugh!
He beats his way through the next area, finding a few tougher enemies on the way, to meet up with a villager who's tied up on a pyre. To save this guy, you basically need to fight off a horde of enemies while also stomping the fire out on the flame so that he doesn't explode.
Thank you!
Moving through there, you get to a giant crane that you gotta take down to move on. You'll also be running into new female enemies, which have an unfortunate pummel attack. And then once you get through the last door, you'll have a tussle against 3 dudes, 2 of which are the ones that cut off Jean's arm.
You? That's a nice right arm you got there.
This is the loser we messed up on our walkabout?
Madam Conchita, he's got a new arm, huh?
It's payback time.
Bruce, Felix, get him!
All right.
Hey.
This boss fight's kind of tough, because you obviously have to go through the 3 stages. But the first bull guy is pretty easy. Just keep on top of him and break his guard, and then pummel him when you get a chance. All you have to do is head slip. The second guy, Cobra, is a little harder, because he does throw different types of moves, such as ones that you need to sidestep. Best way to take him down is just a god hand as soon as it drops in, and then when you get a chance, roulette and use Bullbuster. Last girl is super easy. She's pretty much the same strategy as the bull guy. Just keep close and you should be good. And beating these guys really shows that their name, the 3 badasses, really doesn't work for him.
That arm is the god hand, right?
Thanks to you guys, I've gotten to be quite popular with the Hellish set.
Hellish. I prefer super tropical. Your arm is ours!
I bet you're not really popular in hell.
What the?
Also, in every single level, which I forgot to mention, there are little demon fairies that offer challenges. These challenges can consist of usually just beating a bunch of tough enemies, or beating a car up, which channels your inner Street Fighter. Beating these challenges usually gives you a bunch of gold, so they're pretty good to go for. And once moving through and beating up a few more enemies in the cliff area, you run into Elvis again.
Why the hell are we doing this again?
Sweet!
Coño. Will you treat the bodies with some respect?
Hey, big guy. Sounds like you're in a jam. Now you're gonna have to bury me yourself.
These gravestones aren't yours, cabron. I want you alive.
Shouldn't you be digging your own grave now, big guy?
The fight is very similar to the last one, so just keep close, dodge accordingly, but this time Elvis has 2 more extra flame moves. One being where he sprays the area in front of him, which you can just backdash out of, and another where he sends a ring of fire to chase after you. The ring of fire is super annoying. You can keep track of it on the minimap, but you just have to get lucky at dodging that. But again, Gene shows to be a cut above the rest, and Elvis flees again.
Think I'm gonna starve.
What the hell? That works for me.
You got to do what you got to do. Once I get a snack, you're mine, cabron. Legs down!
You're either really honest or really stupid.
The divas meet up. Elvis saying Gene's tougher than he seems, meaning it's Shannon's turn to try take Gene down.
All right, Shannon, it's time to invite him to your little show.
I've already sent him an invitation.
Gene makes it to the next area, being a brightly coloured fair, making your way through the merry-go-round and a hedge maze with spinning blade boxes with buff men on them. Yeah, we're moving past that, I'm not explaining it. This will lead you to the mysterious masked man. Ooh.
Wait, you're not a human, are you?
This guy isn't hard, but he can definitely catch you off guard. Him being a grappler, he has some high damage grabs, but he goes down pretty easily. Good night, sweet prince. Once beaten, you try your hand at a dance class. Yeah, I was never much of a dancer. And once going through this gauntlet, you beat the big guy up at the end and get the key to move on. Entering a dark cave, you are greeted by a little surprise.
Cardon Wild Joker! One hard gangsta diamond! You can find me at the club! Have your pet neutered or spayed! Ow, 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 ow! I'm hurt! I mean hurt! Together we are the Magnetic Five!
Douchebags.
These little dudes aren't mechanically hard, it's just that there are a lot of them. They are very annoying, and they can just stun lock you if you get unlucky. But at the same time, they're probably the only boss that you can get an infinite combo loop on them. So with the right timing, you can just do this to them. Best way I found is just to use AoE roulette attacks and just spam your god hand whenever you can. And then, eventually, you'll send these guys rolling.
Formation! Zoo! Next time we'll deal you a killer hand! Yee-hee.
Keep on rolling.
Venturing deeper into the cave, you come across a minigame, for some reason, to send cannonballs back where they came from. And on your way out, some big guys to stop your way. But they're really easy, don't worry. This will eventually take you to the big circus tent, surrounded by chihuahuas.
And now for our special guest. This should prove to be a wonderful show.
Hate to burst your bubble, but I'm no one's toy. But if you're after a playmate, I know this one girl.
You just don't understand women. There can never be two queens. Looks like this dog can be trained after all.
The only bitch that needs training is you.
So you're gonna train me, huh? First man I've met who's ever said that.
Really? I figured a girl like you'd hear that all the time.
Shannon is essentially a magical girl, but all grown up. She has a lot of range on these moves, but also she has a spell that can turn you into a chihuahua. If you stay super close and use the roulette move Chain Yanker to interrupt her long range abilities, she'll be easy pickings, and then she'll eventually hit you right out of there.
I have never been so embarrassed.
I know. I always seem to exceed women's expectations.
You certainly exceeded mine.
Ah, yes. Another satisfied customer.
This is farewell for now. Next time, you won't be disappointed.
A bus?
She returns to be berated by Bells, with Elvis defending her due to his little crush on her. In the spat, Bells says he's got to put Dr. I on this mission, to hopefully replace Elvis in the Four Divas. And then Azal gets fed up, saying that he's going to go sort out the problem his own way. And now when going back to the hub, you've unlocked another way to gamble your money away. Chihuahua races. Come on, this time it'll be green, I swear to God, and I've lost my... Jim returns back to Olivia, and she gives him his next mission, to stop a factory that's conveniently on top of a giant robo-crab. This area is littered with female enemies, who are definitely a lot tougher than the basic enemies that you normally come across. When making it further into the base, tougher robo versions of the basic enemies are going to be showing up, and they give you a real rough time. After saving a woman from being attacked, Jean moves on to the next room, where the three amigos show back up to have another try at taking Jean's arm.
Give up the God Hand now!
Only thing I'm giving up is an ass kicking.
But we want the arm!
This time, they don't take turns. Cobra and Bull fight together, and once you lower their health enough, Whip comes down to attack with them. The best way to beat them is to first take down Cobra by hitting him with everything you got, due to his attacks requiring multiple different types of dodges, while Bull's can mostly just be head-slipped. Once Whip drops down, taking out her or Bull is pretty preferable depending on what you feel like. She has a lot of ranged attacks, so I usually take her out first, and then just simply take out Bull right after. And when you beat them, they scurry off with the good old DSP phrase of,
Yeah, you're all talk.
You're all a bunch of freaking idiots!
While Jean fights more enemies and hydraulic presses, the three idiots have a very unfortunate run-in with the Devil Hand.
You should consider a change in careers.
Who do you think you are, you filthy human?
Oh wow, the rival killed a boss you previously fought in one hit. I've never seen that happen before. Jean continues through the factory, running through a few cage matches, and a new demon type, a big, monstrous freak that pokes you with his little trident, just to ruin your day. And after finishing this gauntlet, a goofy-looking elite with weird, slow attacks shows up. Putting up a good fight, this guy prepares you for the next fight, the Devil Hand himself.
You're not a demon. What are you?
You and I, we're polar opposites. If you are the God Hand, then I am the Devil Hand.
Those who possess this power are capable of becoming either god or demon. You chose demon, huh?
Now it's time, you danced with the devil.
Azael is tough. He's literally you. He has plenty of his own roulette moves, and you'll either need to head slip or backflip them. And the annoying part is Azael will head slip most of your attacks. This fight is a marathon, because I don't know if you notice, he has so much health. Like, look at how much damage I'm doing to him here. It's ridiculous. Luckily, you don't have to go through his whole health bar. It's cut short, as Azael leaves satisfied with Jean's strength, leaving him with the knowledge that Olivia is his fiancée. Venturing further into the facility, we introduce a new enemy variant, a fat enemy with a cannon attached to his back, making some fights turn into an even worse hell. So it's a great idea just to rush forwards and take them out first. This will lead you into the chambers of Dr. Ion.
What the? That thing must be charging. Hey! Don't blow a circuit there, old man. Bring it on, tin can.
Dr. Ion is a Frankenstein's monster type robot with a little crow buddy that insults you. And he's just a total pushover. Everything he does, you can just backflip, and as long as you stay close to him and interrupt his big attacks, you can use your big damaging roulette moves, and then he'll just go down super easy.
Out of batteries? If you want this so bad, come and get it! So much for old Sparky.
After beating Dr. Ion, the four Davas comment on his defeat and call Azael out for letting Jean live. Elvis then stakes his claim to beat Jean with his full demon power.
I'm 100 times more powerful as a true demon!
Remember that, by the way. Returning to Olivia, Jean confronts her about being engaged to the Devil Hand. She explains where it started. Her father was the leader of a clan entrusted with the protection of the God Arms and arranged a marriage between Azael and Olivia. Azael only agreed to marry her just to get the Devil Hand, and immediately pulled a Itachi and then just wiped the whole clan, while Olivia fled with the God Hand and eventually ran into Jean. Jean comforts her, but obviously makes sure to ask the important questions.
So, what base did he get to?
Don't worry, nothing happened.
Whew, that's what I thought.
We arrive in the God Hand's version of Italy, finding some more Mad Max knockoffs drowning a villager, and Jean can't help but save him with his expert combat skills. And the villager shows his gratitude.
Thank you! Swimming a medley, huh?
The Italy stage also introduces new Kung Fu Shaolin type enemies. They're pretty tough to deal with, especially in groups, but it does make the game even harder. Yay. And after making it through them, you board a ship in the canals, firing a cannon at another ship, and alien spaceships, I guess. If you destroy the opposing ship, you skip a fight entirely until a radical dude jumps aboard.
Where? What's it coming from? Over there! I'd like to thank my fans for coming out today. I think you all know this song. Yo!
Him and his buddies try their best, but ultimately they're cut short with a very elegant stage dive.
You've been a wonderful audience. Long live the guitar!
Once leaving the boat arc, you find some more tough kung fu guys and some whip girls. You need to defeat them to get the key to the door. Once through, you save some more villagers and move forward, coming to a large group of enemies that for some reason I stupidly ran through, triggering all of them, but still managed to make it out alive, clearly due to my pure skill and totally not RNG saving my ass, which I then proceeded to take my frustrations out on a nearby door, only to come across a familiar face.
Yo!
I think this guy's a lost cause.
Time for the encore! This time we've got a special guest. Hitting the drums, Debussy!
Thank you! Represent!
This time, the leading man brought his backup, and honestly, it's a hard pass on who to take out first. Here, I took out the drum guy, as I knew the guitar man's moveset a little better, making it a bit of a wiser decision. The fight isn't too hard, it's more frustrating, as they both interact with combos with projectiles every chance they get. Once beating the leading act, who jumps in to save the show?
Shit.
But he's mostly just a more aggressive guitar man, so he's also pretty one note, just pummel him down, dodge his weapon with backflips, until you finally break up this band. Right after them follows a really dumb section, where you channel your inner Sisyphus and push a steel boulder up an electrified hill that just doesn't work properly at all. Once achieving your goal, you make your way up to the church at the top of the hill to meet Elvis one last time.
You again? You know, stalkers aren't very popular with the ladies. And looking at you, you need all the help you can get. Bald and you're...
Oh, that's enough, cabron!
Man, you're a little big to be the sensitive type. So, what is it today?
Well, did you enjoy your time with Shannon, cabron?
Ah, you came to pay for her lessons.
Lessons? Pendejon! What did you do with my Shannon?
Come on, you gotta be kidding. Don't tell me a big guy like you has a thing for that hyperactive nympho.
Oh, get ready, cabron! I'm gonna smoke you. It's time! Say hello to beautiful Elvis and see!
Fine with me. Hopefully you'll get some exercise.
Elvis in his demon form is 10 times more powerful than before. At least that's what he said, because at this point in the game, you have more than enough meter, moves, and experience just to delegate him to sit him in the dunce corner, as you pummel him repeatedly. His moves are essentially the same as the other two fights, except with small changes that don't mean quite much, but for a really hyped up fight, it's quite meh. Beating Elvis, he asks Gene for one last request.
Oh yeah, amigo. You're a just man, no? Listen to my last request, eh?
What is it?
Tell Shannon I was the bravest man you ever...
You know, if you weren't a demon, we could have been friends.
The four Davers mourn the loss of their fallen member, as Zale calls them out that for being such strong demons, they really are just a bunch of big babies. And Shannon states that it's her turn to train Jean to be her new pet. Jean meets up with Olivia, catching her in a soapy situation, and she gives you a roulette scroll, giving Jean his next mission to free slaves being tortured by the demons. The next stage brings upon a night sky in a giant chasm, fighting more tough gauntlets of enemies, introducing a new demon enemy, a student swordsman, who carries a sword that deals an insane amount of damage. I never really found a viable strategy apart from pop Godhand and wail on them. That seemed to just work fine. The game ramps up in difficulty even more. Here I cannot count how many times I died from this point, as the game decides to throw as many special enemies at you at once, with the added bonus of a random demon showing up to take a dump on you just while you're down. When receiving a key inside a cave, on your way out you run into the legend that is Tiger Joe, a Muay Thai fighter that wears a tiger stripe vest and does a jumping uppercut. You may describe it as a tiger. uppercut. After moving through what I like to call the Hell Room, some janky platforming, and leading a poison chihuahua with bones to flick a switch, you make your way through a group of fatties to get to another killer hand, which Jean takes up a battle of wits in.
Formation! Time to shuffle up and deal! I've got a killer hand!
I've got a killer hand!
You're gonna get it!
You're gonna get it!
Quit imitating me!
Ah, this is dumb.
This fight is essentially the same as last time. Use roulette moves that hit groups and pop God Hand every chance you have, until you take every one of them down, leaving this deck cut. Once escaping the area, Jean checks out a nice shiny thing at the bottom of a hole, only to get kicked down by Shannon, taking you down to the depths with the other tortured slaves. And running through more boulder traps, you run into another little guy boss fight.
You came here to kill me too, huh?
Say what?
You're not going to trick me! Try this rock upside your head!
This time, he's a psychic dude who rides a rock, throwing other rocks at you. Creative, I know. This fight sucks. Essentially, you just dodge his moves with sidesteps until he tires himself out, leaving him open to attacks. If you get him trapped up against a wall, you can infinitely combo him until he gets into the next stage of the fight, jumping back on top of his rock. This technique will save the fight, because if you let him land and do his little call, a bunch of different other enemies will come and help with the fight. Again, he's not necessarily hard, he's just really annoying. Moving on, you beat another samurai, create a bridge using smoke from a statue of Elvis, and you run into, oh god, Tiger Joe. Ready for round 2, he head slips almost anything, making it absolutely necessary to pop God Hand to beat him. And when beating him, you can check his body, which says, be honest, if you didn't have that thing, I'd win, right? Proving that Tiger Joe really is the hero of this story. I'll miss you, sweet, sweet child. Opening the doors, Jean runs into Shannon. Here, on the dying wish of a big man, Jean says he's ready to send this crazy lady back to hell with him.
You missed me, didn't you?
I'm here for the big guy.
I'm not interested in the last wish of a dead man. I just need a real man who knows how to pleasure a woman.
Big guy! What in the world did you see in this chica anyway? Whatever. I'm sending her back to hell, so she's all yours.
You are so amazing.
She transforms, and again, similar to Elvis, her fight is fairly simple. As long as you backflip the ground pounds, you'll beat her super easily. Just make sure to look for the difference between her bite attack and big attack that you need to hit circle to evade. If you wait till the last second, you have plenty of time to head slip. Once beating her, Jean lets the slaves finish her off with the good old paper fans.
If you bump into the big guy in hell, tell him I said hi.
We go back to the final Deva, Bells, conversing with the Zale that even without his comrades, he still has all the power he needs to summon the Demon King, Agra. But Azael wants nothing to do with it, deciding to do things his own way. Once again, Jean returns to Olivia, and this cutscene just perfectly sums up the whole tone of God Hand. I can't even explain it. Just watch this.
Went out again. Yeah! Olivia!
The next area brings you to a desert in a sandstorm, where you must find these 3 pillars and break them while enemies spawn in indefinitely to stop you. When you destroy the first pillar, Dr. Ion comes back. But this time, he has a battery to keep him going, and a claw that grabs you and does huge damage. Beating him and the other pillars summon a flying pyramid that tracked beams Jean inside. Yeah, this game's just getting weirder. In the pyramid, you fight a few waves of enemies, and god damn, did this room kick my ass. There's so many enemies that spawn here, and so many high level enemies that spawn in. And once beating the gauntlet, you get spat out of the pyramid to fight the Sword Master.
Don't be so cocky. Just because you defeated my student.
You alright?
Prepare to experience my secret technique.
Basically, this just means he needs to be completely dodged, as his attacks can't be head slipped. His combos are pretty basic, but he does spawn in clones to add to the chaos. Taking them down is essential, so I usually hit him with a group attack that gets rid of them easily. Beating the old master, you come to another annoying room. This definitely feels like the home stretch. This room you have to run around finding these crosses to unlock the door. Enemies are constantly spawning, and they increase in difficulty every time the next wave spawns. A good strat is to leave one of the weaker enemies alive, making sure that the next enemies can't spawn in. Think of it like Black Ops Zombies, where you just leave a caller around to stop the next wave from coming. Coming across Bells, Jean questions Olivia's location.
So you are the God Hand.
Where's Olivia?
You've no need to worry. I want nothing to do with the girl.
Wow, that was easy. So I guess you'll be giving her back then.
Unfortunately, she isn't here. Maybe if you defeat me, I'll tell you her location.
And if I'm defeated, what happens then?
Oh, I'll let her go, safe and sound.
You gotta be kidding. You expect me to believe a demon in a cheap suit?
You have no choice. Your death will be just compensation for the crimes you have committed against my kind.
My death? Dementia must be setting in. Hope they have a good nursing home in hell for you.
Very well.
Bells is another demon form fight, but again, all his moves can be head slip, except his grabbing charge move on the ground pound. When on low health, he goes to his second stage, taking flight and becoming more nimble. The hardest thing about this fight is just some of the hitboxes are so janky, as well as the amount of health he has, which just makes him a bit of a damage sponge. But enough damage and meter management, he'll go down with no
problem. I've failed.
Promise time. Give it up. Where are you keeping Olivia?
Go to the Tower of Angra. The time should be right. For the glory of Angra.
He gives up Olivia's location, being that of the Tower of Angra, and Jean heads to the final stage. The game throws all of the toughest elites at you, from the Kung Fu elites, Cobra elites, Barbarian women, Brawler elites, and even multi-armed demons to try and stop you from making it to the top. You even run into a tiger version of the Gorilla Man, who again, his grapples absolutely wreck you, so make sure you can backflip well. Following that, a group of fat ninjas also block the path. Just make sure to bait their guard and use their invincibility of the pummel moves. The last tower challenge has you fighting Afrofist, a disco man accompanied by 2 elite females. He shares the same moveset as the elite Kung Fu guys, so just use the same strategy of head slipping and punishing until you throw off his groove and smash his hits. Now for the final stretch. Jean finds Olivia trapped on an altar and Azael stops you, challenging you to get a hold of your god hand and become all-powerful.
We'll just have to see who she chooses. Ah, Olivia. My newly wedded wife.
One chose the power of a demon. The other chose the power of a god. The power of the god hand. Now is the time to decide which has fate on its side.
What did you do to her? Olivia!
She's nothing but a puppet now. Poor thing.
Why'd you bring her into this?
I want the God Hand. I want to complete myself with the power within it. She is simply bait. Bait for Angra's resurrection!
Bait, huh? Beware of what you hook.
Azael is as tough as before. He head slips almost all of your moves. Learning his patterns is the only way of beating him. There's not really any cheesy way to beat him. A good tip though is when he charges his palm attack, use Chain Yanker. It's a good way to deny the palm and get some free damage. Halfway through his health bar, Azael pops his own Devil Hand, making him completely invincible. At this stage of the fight, he will randomly pop this ability to keep you on your toes. As long as you stick to the same game plan and sweat buckets, you'll be fine. After beating Azael, his body convulses, as the whole time he was the vessel for the Demon King.
Shit. Belzé set me up.
Leave me be! I'll never bow to your will, demon! Take it! I don't want it anymore!
Amazing. So this is their true power. Sorry I woke you. Don't worry, I'll tuck you back into bed.
This fight is kind of tough. Agra has multiple health bars and it's a definitive marathon match. Use head slip on his laser eyes and flick attack, but use backflip when he raises his fist or does a large swipe with his hand. Since Jean has 2 God Hands now, you also have access to the double Shaolin Palm. This attack does an insane amount of damage, so don't use any of your roulette moves apart from this one. Agra will spawn demons throughout the fight, but don't worry, they're easy to beat and they drop items to help the fight. Be careful, as this fight has a lot of janky hitboxes on his ranged shockwaves and ground pounds, so make sure to get close quick whenever he moves away. If you consistently do this and just stay on top of it, you should be able to whittle his health bar down until he's dead. And bam! You've beaten the final boss.
May the light of good shine on his soul through these God Hands! Olivia! Olivia!
Jean!
Thank God you're okay.
Angra.
He's taken a really, really long nap.
Azael.
Angra was inside of him.
Then he was manipulated as well.
Everyone has shadows inside their souls. I guess he let Angra set up shop in the darkness of his shadows.
That means there might be another Azael someday.
It's possible.
Now we have 2 of these God Hands to defend.
Huh?
Come on, Olivia! You were worried about me.
Maybe I should have taken care of you too.
Ow! What are you doing?
Huh. Nothing happened.
Why would something happen to me? I think you should give those arms back! Ugh! Get back here, tough guy!
And credits. When God Hand initially dropped, it was met with a lukewarm reception, with the famous IGN review basically saying, no one at the office wanted to play this game. We all hated it. And this reception killed Clover Studios. But over time, the game gained a large cult following, and this is seen as a forgotten gem of the PS2 era, among many others. Would I recommend playing this game for yourself? Yes, but no. The game is janky and extremely hard, but if you're down for a nut-crushing experience, by all means, give it a go. But the best option would be just to appreciate it, and instead just go play Resident Evil. Hey, Pond here. Just wanted to say thank you for watching this entire video. Like, I know it's a really long haul, but we finally got there in the end. Really appreciate anyone that even takes the time to watch any content that I'm making at the moment. All I can say is at the moment, if you like it, if you want to see some more, just subscribe, show some appreciation, tell me in the comments what you liked about it, and I'll see you in the next video.
My defenses are impregnable. My style is impetuous. If it's too much, I'll grovel at your feet. I beg for mercy when I feel the heat.